the summit provided a global stage to show who is stepping up. It also showed who is not stepping up.
Within a few years, Africa will have more people than either China or India, and well before the end of this century, we'll have more people than China and India combined. The red spots here are the so-called dead zones located near the mouths of rivers, because we are sending out the mouths of the rivers all of this plastic, which is so ridiculous and absurd and harmful. We're also sending fertilizer and chemicals of all sorts, and this is triggering the chain of events that deplete the oxygen. But look at the blue dots. This is the emergence of dead zones with depleted oxygen, sometimes completely depleted, out in the deep ocean. This is a new aspect of this crisis. Pathway of those here who are trying to save humanity's future. So once again, we need ambition. We need courage to move. It also creates more jobs. 11 million jobs in renewable energy already. We have to get ambition back into this picture. Then a new president could simply give 30 days notice, and the U.S. will be right back in the Paris Agreement. So let's keep moving forward. And the technological and economic trends that I've described here will continue regardless of who occupies the occupies the White House. But make no mistake about it, we need new policies. And in order to have new policies, we need new policy makers. Whatever your political party, whatever your ideology, we all have a common stake in the survival of humanity and the conditions that we will bequeath to our children. In my country, I want to reassure you that the majority of Americans live in regions with governments that are moving even faster than the Paris Agreement, including our largest states. All of these cities have announced that they are moving to 100% renewable energy. This is a very powerful trend. Many of our states have legislated a requirement of 100% clean energy by 2045 or 2050. More ambition to get ready for increasing the moves to reduce emissions. 112 global financial institutions have announced that they're going to stop financing coal-fired power plants. The emperor does have no clothes. We have to change our current policies because they are sickening the entire world. Now, all of the great morally based revolutions in human history have encountered an endless series of no's. There has always been a struggle. And at times, there has been the temptation for advocates to feel despair. We face now, for those who are tempted to think that it might be impossible, it is not. We are transformative beings. We have limitations in our makeup. We are heir to all of the fears and adaptations of our ancient ancestors. We respond to certain threats and ignore others. We are vulnerable to greed and to pettiness, but we also have the ability to rise above our limitations. And when the chips are down and when we must change, we have capacities that we very seldom draw upon, but when we do, they lift us all up. Is tempted to believe that we as human beings are somehow destined to preside over our own destruction by our own hand. If you are tempted to believe that despair is the rational and logical conclusion when you survey the situation in our world today. If you are tempted to believe that we simply don't have the will to survive, that we simply don't care what happens to our children and future generations, that we simply don't have the will to act, remember that the will to survive and the will to act are themselves renewable resources. Thank you, and let's get this job done. More ambition here in Madrid.
Guys, there we go. Okay, all right, there we go.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.